Alright, so the lab you're going to do today is actually been around a long time. This is a field test for fabrics. Yes, you get to burn some stuff. I know some of you are a little bit too excited about that. The only thing you are to burn are the fiber samples, and if you burn anything else, you will be removed from the lab, and maybe even the next one. So make sure you follow the rules. But this test has been around a while. It's a way of testing fabric out there in the field. All you need is a fire source, a match, a lighter, something like that. And let's say this was the frontier era, where I might encounter you on the trail and you have some grain and I have some cloth that you want to make clothing out of. Put your hand in. And we want to make a trade. We call this bartering. This has been around for a long time. If you didn't have any money to trade, you just traded goods. So you're going to give me the grain, but before we make this deal, you want to make sure that the fabric I'm giving you is the real deal. I claim it's pure cotton. You want to know for sure. So you ask to have a little sample. Maybe I taste your grain. And you cut a little bit of that fabric off, and you see how it responds to the flame. You get your lighter going, and you bring it close to the flame, and you look. In some cases, some fibers will shrink away, curl away from that flame. And then you see what happens when it goes into the flame. Does it catch fire immediately? Some of them, when you take out, they'll stop burning. They'll burn for a little bit, and then they'll go out after a few seconds. You also observe the color of that flame. And then when the flame goes out, you get a poof of smoke that comes off. You smell that. You look at the color of the smoke. All of those things together, as well as the residue, what's left over, are clues about what kind of fabric that is. Don't need any fancy lab to test it. You can do it right there. Okay? And we're going to use this same technique to determine what 6 unknown fiber samples are, what kind of fabric they are. Those 6 fiber samples were recovered from the scene of the crime. If you refer to this map, you'll see little t-shirt symbols throughout Head Honcho's office. In each of those 6 locations, we recovered some blue fibers. Now, we know that some of the suspects were wearing blue on the day of the kidnapping. So those are the only ones we're interested in for this particular lab. Only the ones that were wearing blue. Okay? Those suspects are in this second set of samples that you'll be getting and you'll be testing after you test the first set that you already will have. Now what you want to find out is, let's say sample number 4 was cotton. Okay? We want to find out which of those suspects were wearing cotton. Maybe all 6 of those suspects were wearing cotton. Maybe 2 of them were. We don't know yet. But we'll find out who was wearing cotton. Now, I want you to think carefully because you're going to have to pass this comprehension quiz. And a lot of people misunderstand what the results are really telling you. Why am I burning this fiber? What am I trying to find out? What material it is, okay? And I'm going to do the same thing with the suspect fibers. I'm going to try to find out what material it is. And let's say I find out that it's cotton. It's blue cotton. How many of you are wearing blue cotton right now? I am, okay? So, you've got blue cotton on. Does that prove that you kidnapped Head Honcho?
No.
If I find blue cotton in her office, does that prove you kidnapped her?
No.
No. Does it prove that you were in her office?
No.
Could someone else with blue cotton besides you have been in her office? Yes. Does it prove what your favorite type of fabric is?
No.
No. Okay, so there's very little that it proves. There's a lot that it might suggest. But the main thing that this lab is going to suggest is where people were. It doesn't prove it. If it turns out that William Binbad was wearing cotton, blue cotton, and we find a blue cotton fiber there, that might suggest he was there. I would use that information in addition to things like fingerprints. So if I find his fingerprints right at that corner, and his footprint, and his blue fibers, or fibers that match the kind that he had on, all together that starts to paint a picture that he was there. Get it? But it doesn't prove it. Now there's a question on the comprehension quiz about what does it prove? And here's what it proves. I'm going to spell it out for you. Hopefully you won't get it wrong when you take the quiz here in a little bit. It proves that his fibers and the fibers found at the scene of the crime have similar properties. When I burn his fiber, it makes a certain color flame. Brilliant orange. So does this one. It makes black smoke. So does this one. It means that those two fibers have similar properties. And they're probably both cotton. Okay? Does it prove that his shirt provided the fibers found at the scene of the crime? No. Does it prove that he was there? No. It suggests where he was, but it doesn't prove it. Does it prove what he was doing? No. And it's hard for it to even suggest what he was doing because fibers kind of move around. So I got to be real careful before I make conclusions like, well, his fiber was there, therefore he did it. You have to use this evidence in conjunction with other evidence. Let me test you on a few other questions on this comprehension quiz. Okay, here's the one I already did. Fiber evidence may suggest A, a suspect was in a particular location, B, the activities of the suspect, C, the clothing preference of the suspect, or D, none of the above.
D.
What does this suggest? What might it suggest? A. It suggests the location. It doesn't prove that he was there, but it suggests. I have to look at it with other things, okay? What does the fiber match prove? Does it, his fiber is cotton and it matches the cotton fiber found there, does it prove that the suspect was present?
No.
Does it prove that the fiber came from William Binbad? No. Does it prove that the two fibers have similar properties? Yes. Okay. I also asked you about the difference between natural and synthetic fibers. What's an easy way to keep those straight?
Natural is real.
Natural, well, synthetic's real. I mean, a polyester shirt is a real shirt. It's not an imaginary shirt.
Like cotton's grown.
Grown. There you go. Grown is a good way to remember it. If an animal produces it, it's grown on an animal or it's produced on a plant, that would be natural. Give me some examples. Cotton, wool.
Silk.
Sheep is wool. Yeah.
Lamb.
Silk comes from silkworms. Good. Lamb.
Spider.
I like my new shirt made out of lamb.
Wolf.
That's kind of creepy, actually.
Dogs. It's like a eyeball.
Well, I suppose it could be. Anyway, my baby lamb shirt. So anything that's grown or grows on an animal or a plant is a natural fiber. And they have different properties. In fact, that's the reason the room stinks so bad, is largely because of the natural fibers we've been burning. It smells like, a lot of people say it smells like wet dog in here. Or it smells like burning hair in here.
Or burning dog.
Yeah, those are some pretty, or burning dog, yeah. Those are some pretty common smells you get with natural fibers. Now, synthetic fibers are often made from plastics, or we call them polymers. Poly means more than one, by the way. And things like polyester, polypropylene, those are synthetic fibers. They are man-made. They don't occur naturally. What are some other synthetic fibers? Rayon.
Rayon.
Well, yeah, I suppose you could have a rubber shirt.
Jean?
Jeans are cotton, almost all natural fibers. Unless they're like stretched jeans and they may have spandex, some other kind of rubber in there.
Spandex.
Okay?
Your undies on the
Excuse me.
outside.
So, anyway, synthetic fibers, because they're made of plastic, when you burn them, they react totally different. Sometimes they ignite, sometimes they burn out on their own, and sometimes they drip. Natural fibers tend to be more like paper. They smell more like paper, or they smell like burning hair, and they leave a softer residue. The synthetic stuff, it will actually drip like you're melting plastic. And so those are some of the things that you're going to look for. Okay? So we know the difference between natural and synthetic fibers. There's another question on here, two other questions that just regularly stump people. One of them says, which of the following do you not evaluate, do you not look at when burning the fibers? And your choices are the response to flame, color of the flame, odor, or residue.
Flare to flame. Odor. Residue.
Residue. Residue comes after it's all done, guys.
That's what I said, residue.
Okay?
Okay, yeah, okay.
The other one that stumps people, which surprises me because I thought it was pretty obvious, and that is how many times may you repeat each of these tests?
None.
None. You can't repeat it. That's why it's so important that you get the results right the first time. If you're not paying attention and you miss something, you can't do it over. There is one sample in each of your little cans. Head up, please. So you cannot repeat it. That means that you need to get everyone in your group helping you out so that you can get the results the first time. It's useful to assign people a job, okay? You're going to be Flame Dude. You want to be Flame Dude? Okay. You get to be Flame Dude. I need Odor Chick. Who wants to be Odor Chick?
Brandon.
Okay. Jack will be Odor Chick. Yes. None of the girls want to take that job because I don't want to be known as Odor Chick. That's not bad. No. So I'm going to give you the job, and your job is to watch the flame. What's the color of the flame? Okay. You're also going to look at how it reacts when I bring it close to the flame. Does it kind of shrink away, or does it do nothing? And when I take it out of the flame, does it keep burning, or does it go out by itself? So those are the things you look at, and the color of the flame. Jack, Odor Chick, he's going to wait for it to burn out, and he's going to get a good sniff of it. What does it smell like? Does it smell like burning wax, asphalt, burning paper, burning hair? Those are some of the choices. And decide which one it smells like. He's also going to look for the color of the smoke. Those are important clues about what it is. Now, before I have you guys come up and help me out, we'll do a little sample test here. I need to give you a few precautions. Number one, only thing you're burning is the fiber samples. I already mentioned that. Two, the alcohol burner stays in your pie pan. You light it and you leave it going. If you're not going to use it for like 5 minutes, just take the cap, put it right on top, and that's how you extinguish it. Okay? When you do test your fibers, don't hold them directly over the burner after it catches fire because it'll just drip. If it's synthetic, it'll drip on top of that and mess those up. But do keep it over the pie pan. Okay? One of the funniest things I ever saw in my life, it's kind of mean, a little quick story, personal story. Growing up, I have 3 older sisters, and one of them just loved to torture me. And it was her 16th birthday, and she was getting all this attention. I didn't get all that attention for my 16th. All the girls get all the attention. She's getting all the presents and the cake with all the candles, and everyone was gathering around, and I was over there just kind of upset because I wasn't getting any attention. So she leaned over her cake to blow out the candles, and guess what happened? Yeah. She caught her bangs on fire, and I just laughed my butt off. I thought that was the funniest thing.
I thought you smashed your head into the cake.
You are sick and twisted. You need some counseling there, boy.
Her hair caught on fire. That's worse than smashing her head.
Yeah, but I didn't do it, okay? That was just fate. Her hair caught on fire, and she had to smack her head to put out the flames. I thought it was pretty funny. But that's not going to be funny in here. So we're not going to get our hair. Ladies, make sure it stays out of the flame and your sleeves. But once you've got it going, then you assign your jobs. Okay, so let me have my 2 folks up here. Jack, Odor Chick. Chris, you're a Flame Dude. Okay? So what you're going to look for, stand back here so you're not in the way of the camera. Stand back over here. What you're going to look for is the response to the flame. As I bring it up close, does it shrink away? You got to look carefully. I'm not trying to light it on fire yet. I'm bringing it close. Oop, you see that? Even before it got to the flame, it curled away. Now when I get it in there, and it lights fire, I'm going to take it away. Look at the color of the flame. Smoke. Come on, Odor Dude, Odor Chick. What do you smell?
I don't smell nothing.
Well, you probably weren't a good choice for that job then.
Probably not.
I can do it.
Okay. Now, in this case, this fiber sample self-extinguished. That means it burned out on its own. So I'm going to light it again. You got one more shot at looking at the color of the flame, one more shot at the color of the smoke and the smell of the smoke. Go, go, go. Color of the smoke. Color of the smoke.
Black.
Color of the flame. Bright orange. Okay. Now it's helpful if you've already looked at the lab. That's why I had you guys read it in advance. Because all this data is already here. So you're looking across at this stuff and you're saying, which smell is it closest to? Which one of those would you say it's closest to? Odors. and you decide which color flame it's closest to.
Mr. Barnes,
Right here.
How do you put the fire out of things like this tall again, like that? You like get over it?
Oh,
Which one? You think it's one of those? Okay, what about the color of the flame? Bright orange. So he said bright orange for flame. You said asphalt or burning wax. Okay? Well, let's look at, do we have any other evidence? Residue. What's left over? Put your hand out there. Tell me, how would you describe that? Okay, is it soft? Fluffy? Is it hard? Is it black? Okay? So one of these is black and hard. Okay? Now, would you say that odor was faintly sweet?
Yeah.
Okay? So now we've got 3 different things, actually 4, shrinks away from flame. 4 different things that match on this data table. What would you say it is, guys?
Polyester.
So based on those tests, it's polyester. Have a seat, thank you. You don't want your souvenir? So what we now know is that that unknown fiber is polyester. If that were sample number 1, we'd simply write polyester underneath this and we'd fill in the table. Now, because I already know what each of these fibers, how they respond to flame, I've already done that for you. So all you have to do is, if you decide it's polyester, is copy this information into your table right across. Okay? The words are already there. You should give me my words. Copy it right over. So this is a little different from the white powder lab, because in the white powder lab, you had to come up with the test results for everything. In this one, we already know what the test results will be for each of the 5 different common types of fibers. Now, it could be that every one of the fibers is cotton. We don't know, but it's going to be one of these, okay? And once you decide which one it matches the best, then you identify it here. So your task today is number 1, pass the comprehension quiz, get my initials. Number 2, take your 6 samples, they're already at your station, and test them. Burn each one. Give people a job, so someone's looking for the odor and the color of the smoke, someone's looking at the color of the flame and how it responds to the flame, so that you don't miss anything. And identify which are which in the samples. When you're done with your 6 samples, there should be nothing left in the film cans. Bring it on up here and trade it for your suspect samples. Okay? Notice that these are numbered. Get the right one for your station. 1's on that end, 8's on this end. You're going to do the same thing with these. You're going to test each one of these. So then you'll know if sample number 4 was cotton and Binbad was wearing cotton, that may suggest he was in location 4. There may be somebody else that was also wearing cotton. Might suggest that they were in location 4 as well. It helps narrow things down and paint a picture, okay? If you don't finish the 6 suspect samples, I've given you a little piece of paper here with their names on it. You can take their sample out of your can and you can tape it on here with masking tape and put that in your case file so you have it to finish tomorrow, because you won't have these available to you tomorrow. But ideally you'll burn all 12 fibers, and then tomorrow you'll work on this page, the conclusions part. Okay? If you want to separate these 2, that's fine. This page shows you what the different results are supposed to be, and this one's the one you're going to be filling in. Are there any questions? All right, let's go.